Hello, in this video, we're going to be going through lesson 3.1, which covers lines, transversals, and angles. Our two learning targets are to identify angles formed by two lines in a transversal and to identify parallel and perpendicular lines. A transversal is a line that intersects two coplanar lines at two different points. In the picture, you can see that the line that intersects the other two lines is this line here. I'm going to put a T by that for transversal. And then in my other picture, the transversal is that line there. The transversal and the other two lines are always going to form 8 different angles. You can see that there's 8 angles in each of these pictures. The interior angles are angles that are between or inside the two lines that are being intersected by the transversal. And the exterior angles are angles that are outside the two lines intersected by the transversal. Let's mark those in our picture. So you should take 2 different colors, and the interior angle, you're gonna go between the two lines. So that would be like this part right here. And then for exterior, I'm going to make that a different color. And then let's label those. Interior between the two lines, exterior outside the two lines. And then in our other picture over here, we have interior now. If I want to be between the two lines, now the interior is this part. And then exterior outside the two lines would be over here. So now that we have those words down, we're ready to talk about the different angle pairs that are formed. And many of the angle pairs have the word interior or exterior right in the name. Corresponding angles are angles that lie on the same side of the transversal and on the same sides of lines L and M. For example, in our picture, angle 5 and angle 4 are a pair of corresponding angles. They're both to the left of the transversal, and they're both above the line, above line L, above line M. There are other pairs of corresponding. I could also do angle 1 and angle 7. And then if we go to the right side of the line, we have angle 6 and angle 2. And then finally, we have angle 3 and angle 8. Next, we have alternate interior angles. When you see the word alternate, think opposite sides of the transversal, and then interior, we know, means in between the two lines. So in our picture here, for alternate interior, we need to be between the two lines and on opposite sides of the transversal. So that would be like angle 1 and angle 2. And angle 3 and angle 4 are the second pair of alternate interior angles. You can't do like 1 and 3 because those are adjacent, they share a side. Plus, we already know that angle 1 and angle 3, when they're next to each other and forming a line, that's actually a linear pair. Next, we have alternate exterior angles. There's that word alternate. And then exterior tells us we're outside the lines. So these angles are exterior angles that lie on opposite sides of the transversal, and they're non-adjacent. So if I pick like angle 5 right here, the alternate exterior angle with angle 5 is angle 8. And then let's look at another pairing. Let's go angle 6 and angle 7. Next, we have same side interior angles, and these are interior angles that lie on the same side of the transversal. In our picture, angle 1 and angle 4 are same side interior angles, and angle 2 and angle 3 are also same side interior angles. Now let's practice an example where we identify each of the angle pairs. Beginning with corresponding, remember that for corresponding, we need to be on the same side of the transversal, which here our transversal is right there, And we need to be in the same spot in relationship to the other two lines. So one pair of corresponding angles is angle 1 and angle 3, because they're both above the transversal and to the left of the lines. We could also do angle 2 and angle 4 would be corresponding. And then if I move to the other side of the line, 5 and 7 go together, right? 5, 7, and 6 and 8. So there are always going to be 4 different pairs of corresponding angles when you have two lines that are intersected by a transversal. Next, for the alternate interior angles, remember we need to be interior, which is inside the lines, and alternate, we need to be on opposite sides of the transversal. So that would be like 2 and 7. And also angle 3 and angle 6. Next, for alternate exterior angles, alternate, we need to be on opposite sides of the transversal, and exterior, we need to be outside the two lines. That would be like angle 1 and angle 8, or angle 5 and angle 4. And next we have same side interior. For that, we need to be interior, so inside the lines, and same side. So that would be like 2 and 3. They're both above the transversal and they're in between the two lines. They are same side interior. The other pair of same side interior angles are angle 6 and angle 7. Here's a try now for you to practice identifying pairs of angles, and a word bank is provided. We have corresponding alternate interior, alternate exterior, same side interior, linear pairs, or vertical angles. The last two there are review from our first unit. Linear pair, we know, are two angles that together form a line, and vertical angles are going to be kind of on opposite sides of intersecting lines like that, where they're across the X. Go ahead and pause your video and try this example on your own. Please pause now. All right, here are your solutions to the try now. Next, we're going to look at how we can identify the transversal that forms each angle pair. You might want to have some colors for this one to mark up the angles. So angle 1 and angle 3 are the two angles. And to find the transversal, you're going to find the line that connects the vertices of these two angles. So if I connect the lines right here, my transversal for angle 1 and angle 3 has to be line L. And then notice that 1 and 3 are on the same side of the transversal and they're in the same position, like to the left of the line, to the left of the line. So that makes them corresponding. Next, let's look at angle 4 and angle 6. So here's 4 and 6. And this time, if I connect the vertices of those angles, we have M as our transversal. Notice that 4 and 6 are outside the two lines, and they're on opposite sides of the transversal. That makes them alternate exterior angles. Next, we have 2 and 6. Angle 2, angle 6, and then if I connect the vertices, this is my transversal N. And notice that that's between the two lines and on opposite sides of the transversal. That makes them alternate interior angles. Next, we have angle 3 and angle 5. 3 and 5 have the transversal M, and they are between the two lines and on the same side of the transversal. So they're interior because they're between the lines, and they're same side because they're both on the same side of the transversal. That makes them same side interior angles. Next, we're going to talk about identifying parallel lines and perpendicular lines. Parallel lines are going to be coplanar lines that do not intersect. In order to be parallel, they have to be going in the same direction. And you're going to see parallel lines being marked with arrow markings. So, for example, these two lines, if I draw one arrow on them, that is saying that they're parallel. In our picture, you can see that EF and AB both have the one arrow because they're parallel. And the symbol for parallel is two vertical lines that are parallel to each other. So I'm going to state line AB is parallel to line EF. Let's get another example here. We could look at EG and FH are parallel as well. And then they don't have to be right next to each other either. I could also do something like EG is parallel to BD. And there's other ones too, like I could have used AC in that section as well. So there are more examples. There's 3 of them to add to your notes. Next, we have perpendicular lines, and perpendicular lines are lines that intersect at a 90-degree angle. The symbol for perpendicular is an upside down T. For perpendicular lines, look for that right angle marking. You can see in the picture here, there's a right angle mark right there, and the 2 lines that make that right angle are line AE and line AB. So we can state line AE is perpendicular to line AE. You can see I have another right angle there. So a second example would be line EG is perpendicular to line GH. So that's these 2 right there. So now let's practice identifying some pairs of each of the following. For parallel segments, I'm going to look for segments that do not intersect and that are going in the same direction. You can also see the arrow markings to indicate parallel. So you'll notice that like all 4 of these sides going this direction have arrow markings. So I could pick any pair of those lines. Maybe we want to pick like segment NK is parallel to segment ML. Or I could pick PS is parallel to NK. So we can use any combination of these 4 lines. They're all parallel to each other. Then there are also some parallel lines going in a different direction, the ones that go up and down. So we could do something like line M or segment MR is parallel to segment LQ. Or I could go over here and say like KP is parallel to NS. And there are many more examples too. You just need 2 lines that do not intersect. For perpendicular, we don't have as many options because for perpendicular, I have to be looking for that 90-degree angle mark. And I see one right here where NR and SR meet. That means MR, segment MR, is perpendicular to segment SR. Similarly, there's another right angle right there, so MR is also perpendicular to RQ. And this concludes lesson 3.1. Thanks for watching. Bye.